Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to my podcast. My name is Lynette. Today we're going to talk about better health. And what led up to this was I received an email shortly before Christmas, and they talked about having more energy. Well, I assumed it was a doctor or an author wanting to be a guest on the show, so I kind of ignored it. But then the word energy kept coming out, and I thought, energy, I could use some energy. So I had contacted them, and I was recently diagnosed with osteoporosis, although I don't feel any symptoms. But I asked her if they knew of a way that I could treat it naturally, because this letter was signed as functional medicine, and I was kind of hoping to find a good functional medicine doctor. So anyway, she said, I'm going to refer you to another person. So she sent my email to that person, and that person contacted me and gave me some really good advice that I had never thought of. And he didn't have any strings attached. He didn't want me to sign up for his class or buy his book or whatever. Absolutely no strings attached. Well, that actually made me happy. So I thought, I wonder if he's taking on new patients, even though it would be via Zoom, because although he was British, he is living in the Philippines. So I contacted them and I said, is this coach taking on any new patients? And she said, yes. And so she sent me information about him. Well, long story short, I did sign up with him. Now, first of all, I want to go over with you about what's happening with me. I know I've told you I've had trouble walking, mobility problems, that sort of thing. But in my heart of hearts, I always felt like it was stress-related more so than medically related. Because a while back, I'll give you the short version, my father was very sick, and he was in business with a family member who tried to take what belonged to my father. And so eventually my father did pass, and he left everything to us. So that was part of it, was trying to resolve that situation. Long story short, 9 years in litigation, attorney after attorney. I was so out of my league. I think I went to small claims court once before. So it was so stressful on me. I have two sisters. One lives in Southern California, and the other one didn't want to get involved. So it was kind of on me. And then one fine day, my whole body started to convulse. And then I kind of just went downhill from there. Since then, after going from doctor to doctor, one doctor thought it was MS, one thought it was Lyme disease, and now the verdict is I have no more active disease, don't need any medicine, but I'm still having mobility problems. So I couldn't prove it because I'm not a doctor, but I kind of felt like it was just stress-related. But I did not know how to recover from it. Anyway, so now I'm going to fast forward to contacting this health coach. My first visit with him was the end of December. And the first thing he mentioned was the importance of sleep. And my sleep is all over the board. I leave my TV on all night. I go to sleep, get up, grab my phone, play on my phone for a while, then put it down, then go back to sleep and watch TV in between. So I guess I get in a good amount of hours, but it's not consistent. So he stressed the importance of that. Anyway, he suggested that 3 hours before I'm going to go to sleep, that I get these blue blocking glasses. So the TV has more of a red tint to it, but after a while you don't even notice. And then once I'm ready to fall asleep, the room has to be dark. It's okay to leave the TV on for the noise, but the room has to be dark. So I bought a sleep mask. And then in the morning, when I get up for 20 minutes, I was to turn on this lamp. It's a SAD lamp. It stands for seasonal disorders. I can't remember what the middle initial is for. So I got that as well. So that took care of the sleeping. But he also talked to me about the importance of posture and certain exercises I could do, because he noticed when I started to speak, he said I would like tighten up. He could even see that on our Zoom call. So, which was really interesting to me, is that without me telling him my history, I told him a little bit, but not too much. He sent me an email that was the after visit summary. And he said, my central nervous system needs to feel safe. And that when I push it to use it, it tightens up. And he didn't say that's why I'm having trouble walking, but that would make sense. Now, mind you, I have gone to a kabillion doctors, and it was so interesting to me that he noticed this, that he recognized it. And then from there, I sent him a video of myself exercising. And he again looked at the way I was carrying my head. And on our second visit, he advised me on that as well. Now, our third visit is coming up, and we're going to talk about nutrition. When I first signed up with this man, I just assumed that we were going to talk solely about exercise, nutrition, everything that typical doctors speak to you about when you're trying to get healthy. But it wasn't that at all. The fact that he recognized, he didn't use the word stress, but he recognized that it was my central nervous system, which when I was going through this situation of my father's, one day I just started to convulse. So I know it's taken a huge toll on my central nervous system. Not only going to court and all that, but there was so much emotion involved. The people that were involved were relatives. And first of all, to think that a relative would do this to you, I had a lot of trouble wrapping my head around that. And then some of these people were like siblings to me. And they've known me all my life. They've known that I've always been honest. But yet they chose to believe lies. And when they had an opportunity to straighten it out, to make things right, they didn't. And so all of this was so overwhelming. I guess it was a situation that made me grow up quick. But what I learned and what I realized with all of this is I don't want to be that way. It's like no matter what we go through, we learn lessons, just as I did from this situation. So you take your lessons, but don't lose yourself. Remain kind, remain honest, because all of the stuff that greed gets you is not what makes you happy. I mean, it goes without saying we need certain things. We need certain income to be comfortable, to get the things that we need just to survive, just to be happy. But a gross excess is not what makes you happy. Having your priorities straight, and if an excess of blessings comes, that's just what it is, a blessing. So it wasn't anything physical that happened to me. It was more emotional. It was emotions that I had never felt before because I've never been treated this way before. What was really interesting is when the United States started having political problems, everybody was so shocked. But it was strangely familiar to me. It was like, wait a minute, I think I've been here before. And I realized that the person that I was dealing with on behalf of my father was the same personality what is causing chaos right now. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to sway anybody one way or the other, so I don't know enough about politics. But I do know chaos when I see it. So that was very interesting to me. That set me up and prepared me for this type of personality. So when I see things that are going on now, it doesn't surprise me. Yes, it's in a much, much larger scale, but it's the same. And the reason I'm sharing all of this with you is because I know some of you probably do have physical problems. And actually, I think this person can help you in so many other ways also. But I wanted to complete, like I said, I paid for 1 month's worth of health coaching. And I wanted to share it with you. I was reluctant to share it too soon, but I thought we could take this journey together. And so when it's completed, if I am satisfied, then I'm going to give you the information. I believe they probably dabble in everything, whether it's physical, mental, whatever. And I don't normally promote things on this podcast, but I also believe there are no mistakes. And I believe I was guided and led to this coach that I'm speaking with. Now, I can't speak for all of their coaches. I've only had experience with this one, and he is so knowledgeable and so kind and so full of information. In fact, he wanted me to see someone. There's a technique called the Alexander technique, and it really has to do with so many things that our posture affects. And he contacted people and tried to get me a coach, but there isn't any in the city that I live in. So I'm going to look it up on YouTube, and then he's going to try to work with me the best he can via remote. But it's interesting also. It's called the Alexander technique. And I believe you can find it on YouTube or Google it. But I'm going to keep you up on all of this because I think it can help in so many ways. Physically, mentally, emotionally. And I'm just thrilled I came across them. And trust me, I have so many opportunities like we all do. We are always hit with people trying to get us to sign up for this class and that class. But this one was different. So what I wish for you is that you start your journey, you take your journey, and you learn from your journey just as I did. I think in all that I went through, I learned that people aren't always what they appear to be. But I also have learned not to be shocked by any behavior that I see. The only behavior I'm responsible for, and the only behavior you're responsible for, is yourself. And so with that, remain kind, remain honest. We know there's people out there that are less than honest or kind, but that's not your problem. Your only concern should be yourself, how you treat others. The only person that you're going to have to answer for in the end is you. So with that being said, I hope your journey is behind you, but I hope your lessons serve your purpose for good. I want to thank you for listening. God bless you. And I will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.